Hi there, everyone. Welcome again to Indian Story Read Along. Today's story is from a Tinkle Digest holiday special, and I looked all through this book. I cannot find any date on it. All it says is Tinkle Holiday Special number 35. So that's the best I can do. The story is from France, and what I like about Tinkle is that they have all of these folk tales, traditional stories that have been passed on from generation to generation for hundreds of years, and they have them from all over the world. That's the best part. They're not just from South Asia. The story is called Tale of a Nose, based on a French folk tale. Long ago, in the forests of France, there dwelt an enchantress who was distinguished by her long nose. One day, the king of the country happened to pass by her cottage, and when he saw her, he was so startled by her nose that he burst out laughing. Oh, it's pretty mean. "See her nose! Is that a nose or what? Ha 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 ha." And then the guys behind him, of course, he's the king, so they're just gonna not be like, "Your Majesty, you're kind of being a jerk." They're gonna go ha 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 along with him. The witch got very angry. She shrieked out a curse. "You foolish man, you shall have a son who will be born with an oversized nose." "No, no, please." It's the worst thing that could happen. "Please forgive me and take back your curse." And then the witch says, if you're truly sorry, his nose will return to normal the moment he realizes how big it is. All right, let's see how long that takes. Now leave. The moment you leave this forest, all three of you will forget whatever has happened here and whatever I've said. So that means that the king cannot tell his son one day, "Hey, did you ever notice your nose?" He can't point it out to him because he's going to completely forget all of this, so he can't help anything. Nothing to be worried about, sire. So his lackeys, I don't know, those guys behind him, they're trying to make him feel better. Nothing to be worried about, sire. Your son will soon realize his nose is oversized, I mean long, and then his nose will reduce to a normal size. That is what she said. And the king says, "You're right, but to be cursed like that is frightening." The moment they rode out of the forest, the memory of their meeting with the witch was wiped out from their minds. A few weeks later, the queen gave birth to a son. And then the nurse is like, "Oh, he's, oh dear, such a long nose," says the queen. It's not large." The midwife's trying to make it feel better. All great people have long noses, have large noses. "It's a nice Roman nose." Andre, as the prince was named, was brought up with tender, loving care. He was never made to feel that his extra long nose was abnormal. People with short noses were banned. Only playmates with long noses were allowed near him. Oh my. When the prince started school, pictures of people with large noses were hung everywhere in the classroom and outside. And look, his classmates have a long nose. Teacher has a long nose. And a teacher saying, "He was a great ruler and had a big nose." So this entire thing has been normalized everywhere. So the prince grew up thinking that his long nose was quite all right, and in fact something to be proud of. That's not a bad thing. I'm glad they were so concerned about their child's self-esteem. Not a lot of parents would take so much care. But seeing as how they're the king and the queen, they think they're so important, and the prince is so important, that makes sense that they would do that. So he's thinking to himself, looking in the mirror, "It's all in the genes, I suppose. Not everyone can have a nose like mine." Okay, here's what I don't get though. Like, they blocked out the entire world of small-nosed people for him. But like, doesn't he look at his parents and he notices that he doesn't really quite look like them? Anyway, when he was 20 years old, his mother felt it was time that he married. So she's ordering the assistant there, bring portraits of several princesses for Andre to see. One of the portraits caught the prince's eye. And he says, "Who is she?" And the assistant says, "Princess Rosebud." Rosebud? A floweria. Floweria. Not a real place, obviously. Princess Rosebud of Floweria. Floweria? I don't know. Mother, I will marry her, says the prince, not noticing that she has a tiny nose. And the queen says, Princess Rosebud, but... Now, what's wrong with Princess Rosebud? She has such a small nose. Oh, that's the problem. However did her portrait get here? Her small nose shows that she has no royal blood. Enough, says the prince. Mother, I will marry her or no one else. The queen says, as you wish, son. Ambassadors were sent to ask for Princess Rosebud's hand in marriage, but none of the ambassadors returned. People reported seeing them at various places all over the kingdom, driving aimlessly as if bewitched. Finally, the prince decided to go himself. So do you think there might be some kind of a spell or something that might be cast on all of these messengers, these ambassadors that just makes them ride all over the place? When he reached the palace, he found everyone running around in panic and confusion. What's the matter? What's the hullabaloo about? Meaning, what's the commotion about? Princess Rosebud has disappeared, vanished into thin air, as it were. We are all looking for her. This is mysterious. The one girl he's interested in is gone. Seems like the work of a witch. Pretty right. Must be the same one who has been confusing my ambassadors. She does not want me to meet Princess Rosebud for some reason, but meet her I will. I will seek her out wherever she is, the prince is thinking. The prince rode from town to town, looking for the missing princess. Wherever he went, he found people gaping at him. They seem to be fascinated by my nose, but some seem to be amused. How odd, him growing up thinking that a huge nose was quite normal. And now he's just having that one thought that, oh, okay, maybe it's not. So then he hears what they're saying. I have never seen anything more ridiculous. And the other guy's like, and you say my nose is long. The prince is thinking, strange comments. They're jealous, no doubt. Well, at least he has some healthy self-esteem going on. After several months of travel, he came upon a palace built entirely of crystal. Now, isn't this odd? This building has no doors. This is surely a work of magic. The princess must most certainly be here. So then he tries to kick it. He tries to ram it with his shoulder, somehow break it down. But then he comes to the conclusion that the material is too hard to break through. If my physical body can't get in, perhaps my voice can. Princess Rosebud, Princess Rosebud, where are you? Show yourself. Princess Rosebud. Suddenly, look out of the crystal, an arm appears, so she can go out, I suppose, when her name is called, but no one else can go in. And then the prince is realizing this. It is the princess. She has shown herself. The prince raised her hand to kiss it, as was the custom to show affection for a lady in those days. But, oops, my nose is in the way. No wonder they were staring at me all along the way. My nose is too long. And finally he realized it. The next moment, bling. Huh? Has it shrunk? It has. Man, I would put plastic surgeons out of business. The spell was broken. And then, I suppose that Crystal Palace was no longer powerful. Princess Rosebud, he says as the princess comes out, you paid the price for your father's rudeness, came a voice from elsewhere. It's the witch. Now you've freed yourself, says the witch. Go in peace with your princess. And here's a moral of the story. And never make fun of others. The end. I like this story. It was fun. It was cute. And definitely never make fun of others, not because you might be punished by a witch, but because it's just mean and unnecessary. And the prince was like, he was fine. Like, even though his nose was a little bigger, he was fine. I kind of got used to this other guy. This guy. I got used to him the entire way, and now, like, this guy just seems a little bit, I don't know. But anyway, everyone looks different, and that's totally cool. So join us again next time on Indian Story Read Along. We will read stories from Tinkle, Chandamama, all kinds of comics that I have in my house that are no longer in print and I want to share with you. All right, we'll see you soon.